Greetings, American Pickers! I have a review today of Captain America, the First Avenger. It's directed by Joe Johnston, starring Chris Evans as Captain America, also known as Steve Rogers, and Hugo Weaving as the Red Skull. Let's get going with the basics here. Let's see. The film starts in the the film actually technically starts in the present when a plane is found in the snow in the Arctic. Guys like crawl in. They discover Captain America's shield, and it flashes back to I believe 1942, the second year of our involvement in World War II. Things are moving pretty quickly in the World War. The Red Skull has created this branch of the Nazi regime called Hydra. Remember those guys? Hydra is sort of the special super soldier branch of the Nazis, which has like special technology and all the super science and all that sort of stuff. These guys would have been kicking the shit out of Indiana Jones, for instance. Well, American military seems to be quite concerned, so they have a scientist played by Stanley Tucci, actually, Dr. Abraham Ritsky. I can never really get that name right. Anyway, he's a German scientist who was working with the previous super soldier project over in Nazi Germany, which created the Red Skull. But it had kind of bad side effects, turning him into Michael Jackson. But now he's working for the good guys because he hates what the Nazis are all about. And he has a wonderful line about the first country the Nazis invaded was Germany. I really do like his portrayal in the film, and the references to the fact that not every German was on board with this Nazi thing. Like famous examples are like Marlene Dietrich took off for the U.S. Because she hated the Nazis so much, and actually in turn did a lot of stuff for the USO and even for the U.S. government. Doing her best to promote the Allies during that time. But anyway, they're looking for guys. They're looking for soldiers all over the place, and they happen to notice Steve Rogers, who has tried over and over and over again to get into the military. He is a skinny, frail, the classic 90-pound weakling. He even has heart problems. He's not in great shape. He has tried over and over again. He's even falsified his information so that maybe he can get a better shot this time. But he's about as successful as abstinence-only classes. So he's not doing it too well. But Abraham actually discovers him and decides to throw him in because he feels maybe his heart is physically weak, but emotionally it is strong. And Tommy Lee Jones, by the way, is also in this film. He is fantastic. He plays Colonel Chester Phillips. And he's somewhat skeptical, but there's this wonderful scene where he tests the men. He throws a fake grenade among them, and the guys he thought were awesome, took off, and Steve is the one who covers himself with the grenade. Now, let me go to Chris Evans's performance. First off, in the first 20 minutes or so in the film, with the CG effect making him look like this smaller, weaker man, I think is really well done. It looks a little bit better in the than it did in the trailer for some reason. Maybe just maybe this is one of those things about trailers versus the actual film. It's less jarring when you're watching the film, and you just accept it after a while. His performance is really good, actually, in these scenes where he's a man who knows what he wants to do, but he doesn't feel like he's in the body that can achieve these goals. He's quite depressed and broken about it, but he won't give up for some reason. And once he does become this super soldier, he he doesn't leave it behind, actually, and it's the words of Abraham talks about how a weak man understands what it is to be strong, where a strong man can take it for granted, and that's one of the themes I think in this film, actually. Also, Haley Atwell is, let's see, what's her name in this film? But Peggy Carter. Now, of course, Marvel geeks know that Peggy Carter was in the old comics, and she is the mother, or depending on continuity, grandmother of Sharon Carter, who is in the present day comics. And Atwell's performance is very strong in this film, actually, and it's actually one of the stronger, the girlfriend roles I've seen in one of these superhero films. Mainly because everything here is pretty confident and supportive, actually. It's a really strong performance. As well, it's very well written. It's not just tacked on to be the girlfriend. She does have a role in this world. And Johnston does a very good job just, portraying this character. Also, it's fun just seeing her with a British accent, actually. I can't remember any other superhero movie with the female role being anything but, standard American-ish. I love the scene, actually, where she's introduced to addressing some men, and this one guy gives her shit, so she has to knock him down, which is a really funny moment. The only thing that would have made that scene better if maybe that was Daniel Tosh that she punched out, but hey. Now, because I gotta think, especially in this time, this era, anybody breaking into something that has been primarily a white man's world, whether you be a minority, a female, or gay, or what have you, you gotta be better, and you can't fuck up. If you fuck up once, well then, oh hey, that's why we don't let you do this stuff. And that was very evident in the way that character was written and the way Atwell performed it. Also, digging Bucky, and I also liked in the early part of the film the roles between Steve Rogers and Bucky were actually kind of reversed, where he was the big hero and he was sort of protective of his friend, and then completely like flip-flops. I love the moment just before they sneak onto the train. No, before that, where he asks if he's ready to follow Captain America, and he goes, no, but I'll follow, that weakling Steve Rogers anytime. It's like, oh, perfect. That relationship was so well done. Because, I've always considered them like, I don't know, kind of a second-hand Batman and Robin kind of thing. So their relationship was, God, maybe first seen very tight. Also, man, I gotta say, Hugo Weaving as Red Skull is, he's now kind of one of those villain actors, but boy, he does it well. And the build-up to his reveal is great. I mean, we saw glimpses of it, actually, but they were very smart the way they handled it, because they didn't show too much. They didn't, because, they realized, hey, the movie's called Captain America, not Red Skull. So they were able to kind of just throw that aside a little bit and let it build and build into the scene. We see him with his normal face, and then there's the scenes where it's suggested that he doesn't look so great. I love the portrait scene, by the way. I thought that was very well done, because you think maybe we even get to see it in the portrait, but we don't. It's a nice hint, actually, and it looks beautiful. It really does look off the page, and as well as his uniform too. He looks very cool. And of course, it's Hugo Weaving. It's Hugo Weaving. I mean, it's a good performance. Also, I think his name is Toby Jones. He plays his sidekick, Dr. Zola. And I've seen this actor a few times, and boy, that's a cool, well-written part, actually. We see, he's sort of the trusted sidekick in a way that does all his scientific dirty work, and you always feel like he's one mistake away from getting a bullet in the head. And he handles that line pretty well, actually. And I like this actor quite a bit, actually. I think he played I think he played Truman Capote in a previous film. Not the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman, the other one that came out that nobody paid attention to with Sandra Bullock. Oh, he's quite good in that too. And now we get to a whole shebang, actually, with the whole Captain America thing. Of course, the American military wanted an army of super soldiers, not just one. So he is sent to the USO to basically promote, you know, the American agenda and the whole pride and American thing. And, you know, and he has, you know, the classic regular costume, which, by the way, ironically, looks better than the one from the 1990 film. But he goes on the USO tour with dancing girls and a guy playing Hitler that he punches out. There's they produced comic books in order to, you know, get morale up. And you know what? When you think about it, he hates it, but it is kind of, you know, important to the spirit of, you know, the populace. But he wants to be out there, and when he has to perform in front of actual soldiers, he feels awful. He feels embarrassed. He feels like an idiot, a clown, a dancing monkey, and when he gets his chance, he takes it, and oh boy, that's I love the whole sequence where he sort of combines that costume with a real WW2 uniform and gets right in there. This film does a wonderful job of going back and forth from it has kind of a superhero universe feel to it, but it feels like right underneath that is the real world, and we're seeing this world through superhero eyes, but still you get the feeling that there is some real deadly, ugly reality, you know, just outside of that. Like in some of the USO stuff where he's like dancing around and like walking like very proudly among other you know, actors pretending to be soldiers, and then that scene is actually mirrored once he brings back the rescued soldiers. Oh God, I love that stuff. Oh, by the way, I loved that whole. Actually, there's two great montages in there. The montage of him performing, as well as him fighting. And what was cool about that is it adds this layer of victories and defeats here and there between him and Red Skull. You know, after, you know, battle after battle after battle, instead of one or two for, you know, for a movie. It did kind of like stretch it out a little bit. Very well done. And Joe Johnston, I think, what I love about his work is he has a wonderful eye for nostalgia of this time. He really does appreciate, in the golden age of sci-fi nerddom of the 30s, 40s, and, you know, even 50s, he really does know how to capture that spirit through modern eyes, without being a smartass about it, without being overly ironic about it, and he knows when to pull back on that. And good Lord, what a great film! I'm going to say this and the X-Men film are the two best superhero movies of the year. I'm not sure which one's better. They're both fantastic. I highly recommend this one. If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're waiting for. 5 Ram Chips. I may be tempted to say this might be my favorite film of the year so far. The year's, well, it's almost half over. Well, 5 Ram Chips. Go see it if you can. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And by the way, don't forget, I'm on Kickstarter with my Red Knight comic. I'm trying to meet a goal of $900. Check out the site. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the underbar. Well, until next time, push the button, Lindsay.